Guess what I did yesterday? Taught my granddaughter how to hashtag on TikTok. Today? Competed in a bingo marathon with retirees from Florida. I'm 75 and I'm loving life. But it wasn't always this way. 5 years ago, I binge-watched TV and thought, it's over. The kids are grown, my career's done, I can't even bake cookies anymore. Then I found my grandma's journal. At 80, she wrote, signed up for salsa. Joe from the club invited me to barbecue. Life's a party. Today, I'll show you how to turn age into your superpower. 10 rules backed by science, and my squad of fierce 70-somethings. Let's go. Rule 1. Your brain isn't a museum. It's a playground. Stanford scientists proved it. After 70, your brain doesn't rust, it just craves new challenges. My buddy Bill, 73, learned Japanese to read haiku. Now he texts a woman from Kyoto. She invites him to visit, and he jokes, I mastered the language but still burn toast. 15 minutes of daily puzzles/memory loss risk by 40% NIH data. And no, celebrity crosswords don't count. Pick something that makes your brain sweat. Quick, what's the link between zebras and your couch? Comment below. Best answers get my cookie recipe. When Bill turned 73, he felt like his life had become a broken record, same routines, same silences. Everything changed when his grandson gave him a book of Japanese haiku. Grandpa, it's like your poems but shorter, he said. Bill, who'd never learned another language, decided to challenge himself. The first weeks were brutal. Characters looked like spider legs, and the pronunciation made his head spin. But he didn't quit. Every morning, Bill sat with coffee and a language app. He scribbled words on sticky notes and plastered them around the house. One day, he stumbled onto a haiku forum and started messaging Aika, a retiree from Kyoto. She laughed at his mistakes but praised his grit. Your haiku are like spring wind, clumsy but honest, she wrote. A year later, Bill read Matsuo Basho's poems in Japanese. A month after that, Aika invited him to Japan. I can't make sushi, but I'll drink sake and listen to your stories, he joked. Now 76, Bill runs a haiku blog with fans in 20 countries. Your brain's like a muscle. Let it rust, and it'll quit on you, he says. His dream? To meet Aika under cherry blossoms, no Zoom, just real life. Rule 2. Loneliness isn't a life sentence. It's a reason to build your tribe. After 70, many feel out of the loop. Kids are busy, friends move. Sound familiar? Meet Mary from Texas. At 78, she started the Grandma Gamers Club. They stream Fortnite and Minecraft. Now they've got 150,000 followers and a sponsorship from Xbox. Don't wait for invites, make your own rules. Join a latte art club or astrophotography class. My friend Jane, 80, took rock vocals lessons. Now she covers Queen at local bars. Mary from Austin, Texas, was always her family's tech guru. But after 75, loneliness crept in like fog. Kids moved away, friends rarely called, and days blurred into gray. Then her grandson taught her to play Fortnite. Gran, you love shooters, he said. Skeptical, Mary signed up. Within weeks, her sniper granny skills became legendary. She started the Grandma Gamers Club for retirees. At first, it was just Mary, her neighbor Ethel, and Jack, a one-handed Vietnam vet. They streamed on Twitch, laughed at their fails, and sipped virtual tea after matches. 6 months later, gaming blogs featured them, and Xbox offered a sponsorship. Today, the club has 150,000 followers. Mary, aka Granny Shot, competes in online tournaments. I thought aging meant silence. Now my house buzzes with laughter, even if it's through a screen, she says. Her grandson? He wears a shirt that says, My grandma slays noobs. Rule 3. Mad? Channel that fire into fuel. I used to stew over things. Why does my neighbor mow so early? Did the grandkids forget me? Then I realized, anger is energy. My fix? Creative rebellion. Paint, sculpt, sing blues. Talent optional. Example. My daughter didn't call for a month. Right pointing arrow. I wrote a blues song. Right pointing arrow. Posted it on YouTube. Right pointing arrow. 20k views. Now she calls every Sunday. Expert insight. Psychologist Susan Whitburn. Post 70 anger often masks fear. Release it through movement, flamenco, punching bags, whatever works. Just don't bottle it. When her daughter forgot her 75th birthday, Martha didn't leave home for 3 days. She scrolled through old photos, angry and crying. But instead of sulking, she grabbed her dusty guitar and wrote Ballad of the Forgotten Birthday. The chords were shaky, her voice cracked, but Martha posted it on YouTube. By morning, her phone blew up, 5k views, comments like "You're my hero." And my kids ignore me too. Her daughter rushed over with apologies and cake. "Mom, I didn't know you could roast me in rhyme," she said. Now Martha's channel has 30k subscribers. She writes songs about daily drama, ode to noisy neighbors, blues for the TV remote. Anger's energy. Channel it right, and you'll light up the sky, she says. Her daughter calls every Sunday. At 11 a.m. sharp. Rule 4. Your memories are your soul's Netflix. At 75, my grandpa began forgetting things. So I gave him a recorder. Tell me about your first car. Now his stories are a podcast with 50k fans. The grandkids listen instead of scrolling TikTok. Hack. Don't like writing? Film yourself. Grab your phone. In 1969, I danced at Woodstock. Trust me, your grandkids will beg for more. When Grandpa John's memory began fading, his granddaughter Emily gave him a recorder. Tell me about your first car, she asked. John, a Korean War vet, lit up a 1949 Ford. My buddies and I drove it to the beach, blasting Elvis. Emily turned his stories into the podcast Backseat Time Machine. It now has 50k subscribers. Listeners write, "Your grandpa feels like mine." And John's grandkids, once glued to TikTok, beg, "Grandpa, tell the bear fishing story again." John, now 89, says, "I thought my life was a dusty attic. Turns out, it's a treasure chest." Rule 5. Sleep like a baby? Adopt a pet. Harvard research shows pet owners sleep better after 70. My cat Charlie's my sleeping pill. He wakes me at 6 a.m. for food, then curls on my lap. I'm snoozing in minutes, no meds. My neighbor Tom, 82, rescued a blind dog named Luna. I used to stare at the ceiling, he says. Now we walk 3 times a day. Tom lost 15 pounds, and Luna navigates by smell. Tom, an 82-year-old widower from Arizona, barely slept 3 hours a night. Then he found Luna, a blind dog abandoned outside a store. She bumped into walls, and I realized, we're both lost, he says. Now they walk 3 times a day. Tom lost 15 pounds. Luna navigates by the smell of his fried chicken. I thought life was over. Now I wake at 6 a.m. Because Luna paws my face. Best alarm clock ever. Rule 6. Your body isn't the enemy. It's your quirky dance partner. After arthritis, I hated my body. Then I heard, pain is a cry for attention. Give it 10 minutes a day. Now I negotiate with my knees. Let's do 5 minutes of yoga, then ice cream. Works every time. Tip. Skip marathons. A 20-minute walk plus dancing to ABBA does wonders. Just laugh when you stumble. After her arthritis diagnosis, Rita stopped leaving home. Then Dancing Queen played on the radio. She stood up and swayed. It hurt, but I laughed. Because I could. Now she hosts ABBA dance nights for neighbors. We wobble like jello but we laugh till we cry, Rita says. Her knees still ache, but she's sure, your body forgives mistakes if you dance with joy. Rule 7. Retirement isn't an ending. It's a quest to find your spark. My friend Linda was a lawyer for 30 years. At 75, she tried street art. Now her work sells in Miami. Secret? In the office, I feared mistakes. Now I paint walls, and people smile. Life taught me to create. Challenge. Make a 50 dreams list. Sing karaoke in Times Square? Brew Viennese coffee? Check them off, you're Indiana Jones now. Linda, a former lawyer, stumbled into a graffiti class at 75. I hated getting messy, but watching paint explode on walls? Pure magic. Now her murals sell in Miami galleries. At 30, I feared mistakes. At 75, I learned, mistakes make life colorful. Rule 8. Believe in something bigger. Even if it's a cat in a bow tie. My Aunt Kat, a lifelong atheist, reads Zen books at 80. I don't believe in karma, she says, but it calms me. My Arizona neighbor Joe chats with his cactus. Spike, will it rain today? After 70, find your anchor, faith, nature, baseball fandom. It's your compass in life's storms. After her husband died, Susan shut down. Then her cat Charlie started wearing a bow tie. I talk to him like he's human. It's silly, but it gives me hope, like miracles are waiting. Rule 9. Secrets from survivors. Why their stories are your gold. My dad, a Vietnam vet, lived to 90. His rules. Sleep on a firm mattress, eat bacon Sundays, never complain. He also found daily pride, even if it was, I didn't argue with the mailman. Record your elders' stories. Their old school wisdom is treasure. My dad always said, when scared, march forward. Fear hates grit. Joe, a Vietnam vet, lived to 92. His rule, never complain. Even in chaos, find a reason to smile. His daughter wrote down his stories. Now they're an Amazon bestseller. Rule 10. Life isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, and moments matter most. I planted an oak when my husband passed. He won't see it grow, I thought. But my great-grandkids will read under its shade. Now I gift acorns to neighbors. It's my way of saying, I was here. I mattered. Single quote. When her husband passed, Edith planted an oak. He won't see it grow. But someday, our great-grandkids will play under it. She gifts acorns to neighbors. It's my way of saying, life keeps going. And every seed holds a universe. Raise your coffee or smoothie and say, may my 90th birthday have laughter, sweet Caroline sing-alongs, and stories of my TikTok tutorials. Life's still yours to rock.